Epic, epic, epic. They did it once again, and this time there aren't even words to describe how much of a slap in the face this is to us, to their pros, not to mention some of their employees apparently who aren't even happy, like we found out in the last video. How is it possible though that a company can be so disconnected with its players that they do literally everything they can to go against their own community? I'm your second favorite PE teacher, Denver, and I'm not trying to sound too negative. I try to always see both sides, try to find something good in all of this, but it's hard for us to not be upset after Epic's post today. We got a heads up yesterday there would be a community update blog post that Epic would explain to all of us why they did what they did with some of these choices, these decisions, why they left us all hanging on things like Siphon that like 90% of the community apparently likes, the awful choices they keep making a competitive play with like ballers, the stretched resolution nonsense, and a field of view slider, all these things that the community wants, but Epic keeps ignoring them. Now you can probably guess how Epic responded to these things to us today, and wait till you see why. Pros are freaking out on Twitter right now, and call them whiny and stuff all you guys want, and yes, they do whine and complain a lot, but listen, every single one of them has been right at this point. This is a lot of their full-time jobs, their careers, and they're watching this company destroy the very game that made their careers, that could last forever, but instead is being cut short. This is the tweet that Epic put out. It said, "Get an update on recent competitive topics and game evolution in our blog." Now, people were excited to read this. 3,000 plus comments in an hour. So either this is going to be great news or it's going to be terrible news. So let's see what the comments say. Mongrel, Symphony, Pokimane, TSM Slappy put this, and Tfue even replied with a gif of XQC slamming on his desk. Epic, are you even listening at all to any of this? This is just 5 of them, guys. The list goes on and on and on. This video would be 45 minutes if I read every single reply and how upset like every single person is. Is this just the pros, just the content creators, and just the streamers? Or are you guys, the millions of players who keep this game alive, are you all feeling the same exact way too? At what point do we all just stop buying stuff from the shop and just boycott until they listen to us? Nick Merckx dropped the Michael Scott gif, and by the way, props to you guys who love The Office. I think FaZe Avery said it best though when he said, "Sad to see a good game go to waste." And I think that's how we all feel at this point. I'm terrified of what's going to happen after the World Cup and all the hype from the World Cup dies down. Now, DrDisrespect, he straight up raged at Fortnite enough times that he just couldn't play it anymore. If you didn't see it, check it out because it's how a lot of us feel when we're playing.
What is this game about? What is it about? Huh? What is this game about? Are you kidding me? What is this game about?
Now, by the way, Doc isn't just a streamer. He designed games and maps for Call of Duty on staff for years. He knows what he's talking about with game design. Honestly, the only reason I think DrDisrespect wants to play Fortnite at all right now, just like a lot of the pros, is to get some of the World Cup money because it's insane how many millions they're handing out. @FratQT on Twitter said this: "Epic made a good game by accident. Now they think they're the smartest company to ever exist. They're making so much money, they could care less what 95% of the community wants or what will save their game." And then he said, "Avenger skin, kind of nice though, might have to cop." And yeah, the cosmetics in this game are always awesome. I don't think anyone would complain about Epic's art department. They're amazing. But who is making the decisions at Epic Games, and how could they possibly think today's explanation in this post was a good thing? Enough of mine, enough of the pros' opinions. Make up your own mind on this one, guys. Wait till you see this. Epic says about the siphon: "Everybody enjoyed receiving health and shields for eliminations after we introduced the changes to the core modes, but there was an unexpected consequence. Players at large grew more frustrated with Fortnite play, feeling they had less of a chance due to encounters with high-skill players with full health and shields. Ultimately, Siphon increased engagement for the highest skilled 10%, while the remaining 90% were more frustrated or played less." According to every poll we've seen though, on Twitter, on YouTube, everywhere I've come across, 90% of the community seem to like it. About 90%. hundreds of thousands of people on Ninja's poll, they said they want it. What about this though? The players who got killed by the highest skilled player because they just got into a fight or two and they're left with 10 health and no minis and bandages. How are they ever going to go up against the better player now? Now instead of a small chance with shields and with health, they have next to zero chance at all without a sniper no-scope headshot or some other miracle. And then they said right after this that over time, players began to disengage in the core modes, stating that the game had gotten too intense to be enjoyable. The reduction in viable playstyles in combination with this feedback was the basis for us removing the siphon mechanic and material changes in core mode. I appreciate it, Epic. We're glad that you're explaining something. We just aren't too happy with the explanation. So Epic, let me ask you, is the game too intense for some people because of siphon? Or is it because people are just getting really good at the single core mechanic that sets Fortnite apart from the rest of the Battle Royale games, and that is building? For me, even after this explanation that was supposed to clear everything up, I still have no clue how siphon not only doesn't hurt the game, but actually is what even the worst players need to recover after a fight instead of being pretty much guaranteed to lose their next fight because they have no health and no shield. Then Epic added this on. For players that prefer the sharper experience of Siphon, we do offer an always available arena mode that includes the Siphon and materials cap changes. But Epic, we don't want to play sweaties all the time who are trying to qualify for the World Cup. I just want a little help on my health and shield after I won a huge fight, and bandages and mini shields are like impossible to come by sometimes, and now two players are spraying me with ARs because they heard the fight that I just got out of. By the way, Epic, a lot of the pros tried to play Arena and got stuck in 20+ minute queue times while trying to keep 10 to like 50,000 viewers entertained. But Denver, there has to be some good news in this post somewhere, right? Well, Epic finally addressed why they got rid of stretch resolution, which honestly, I don't really care about. I never used it, but obviously a bunch of people were really upset. Somebody was like, okay, that's fine. We only use stretched because we want a little bit wider field of view. Anyway, so let's meet in the middle and let's compromise. And Epic's like, no. They said, we're not giving you an FOV slider, and here's why. They said, fundamentally, we seek to avoid, well, get this, optional settings which provide players with a significant gameplay advantage. So that makes sense, right? Here's a list of all the competitive shooter games that give players an FOV slider. So maybe they can explain this so we can understand and see their side. They said, here's how they explained it. The current default frame of view of 80 is a trade-off to accommodate minimizing potential motion sickness in players further away from their screen. They said it's to minimize jarring transitions when aiming down sights. They said it's for visual fidelity and for performance. Guys, if you ever get an FOV slider in Fortnite, you don't have to use it. It's optional. Just like every game out there, it is completely optional. And then everything Epic said, it makes no sense. Because if you get motion sickness or poor performance, or you're jarred by aiming down your sights, then don't use it. Set it at 80. Just leave it. If the only reason we don't get an FOV slider is because they want everybody to be on the same level playing field, then you can never let PC players and console players play together. Or you'll have to limit PC players to 60 FPS and console players wouldn't be allowed to get aim assist. There is no level ground. There is no consistency in anything they are saying right now. There isn't much else in the blog besides them saying they fixed some bugs, so let's hope we don't have to deal with like ghost shots and hitches anymore. But guys, tell me what you think. The whole time I'm making this video, I'm just shaking my head like there is no way. They just denied everything the community has been asking for yet again. Epic, I hope you have some big plan and we look back at a successful Fortnite in 5 years and think, man, they were right all along. Otherwise, things just look really bad right now. Really, really bad. Skeptic replied to the tweet and threw in a gym face. Another shout out to The Office, of course. Now at Fortnite Incel, I love this one. They put this, Epic Games, am I out of touch? No, it's the professional players who are wrong. FaZe Thief said it really well on Twitter. He said this was from Fortnite's post about competitive play. Why is it that in 2019, we want anyone to win? That's not how it works, he said. The best players who put the most effort in and devote their life to the game should win. Just give us an FOV slider and stop making excuses. Now, the gamer couple had some really good points here saying, Dear Fortnite, noobs don't need your help. They have so many ways to improve and practice. Creative 1x1s and free builds, unlimited edit and build courses, aim training maps, LTMs, and playgrounds. You're driving away content creators because we don't have anything fun to play. By the way, shout out to Gamer Couple, It's Jarian, Gearsy, Roadie Bros. These are all awesome tips channels. If I'm forgetting any right now, I'm so sorry. But guys, there's tons of ways to learn. Noobs do not need their hand held by Epic. They have plenty of options to get better. Now on Reddit, it's a storm of anger as well, with 0 upvotes on the pin post and comments like this one from user Leo9991 saying, "What the heck is that reasoning on the FOV slider?" And then Jack saying, "TLDR, deal with it." And that's from Epic telling us to obviously just deal with it. User Coach21 brought up the motion sickness thing and said, "Raise your hand if this is what happens to you when you had to move closer to the character's head, not further." And seriously, I think with all motion sickness, if you're like closer, you get more motion sick. The moment you like look out the window in a car or like on the land or whatever, if you're on a boat or something, it makes you less sick. Now, user Redditor1022 said, "We heard y'all, but we don't care." Saying he hadn't played the game much the last couple weeks since they took Stretched, and this will be the final nail in the coffin for me. Right down below it, Aluka Rule said, "I don't know why it can't be 90 FOV. Almost every game I played uses 90 as their default, not 80. This next one is the biggest one and makes so much sense." LD511 says, "I have never believed Fortnite will die, but after reading that post, I very much believe Epic will kill Fortnite." Maybe some of you guys were on the fence too. Maybe not convinced yet that all these pros complaining and whining and the community spamming revert on every post from Fortnite were possibly right. Now TSM Myth, he sums it up well. He says, "Once you start chipping away at what makes your hardcore community hardcore, they will leave. Even with tournament money, it's a matter of when, not if. I love Fortnite and what it's become, but I've come to accept the reality of this situation and won't let it ruin my fun." Of course, thank you guys as always for so many of you using my code thatdenverguyYT. And if you've seen my videos, you know that I give away V-Bucks to 1 or 2 of you guys every week just to say thank you to you guys supporting me and the channel. I try to get back to you guys. So just send me a pic or a video on my Twitter, on my Instagram, showing me that you purchased something using my code. Or if you don't have social media, leave me a comment telling me what you bought. The winner for this week was Chris Kalfa, who told me he wants an Xbox gift card. So I sent over a $25 Xbox gift card, and you guys might be next. So send me those pictures and videos. And anyway, guys, I'll let you know if anything else on this comes out. News, it can't possibly get any worse, can it? But I guess we'll see. It's epic after all. Click like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. I'll see you guys either on Twitch TV, That Denver Guy, or in the next video. Love, Denver.
Mr. Denver, I love your videos. How about that? How about that? How about that? How about that too? Okay, then I bought that. I bought all of those, and I bought that. I had that before, so but I only had the skin. I bought that, I bought that, bought that, bought that,